Big Three.
And now it's time to break down Week 8, all the way live from Detroit, Michigan. Little Caesars Arena was on fire. By far the greatest week of Big Three basketball this season. Director of Fireball Operations, the one and only Thomas Scott is in the building. Let's break it down, brother.
You know, first thing I got to say, because we are in Detroit, is Detroit basketball. I had to do it.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Just don't do it in front of Rick Mahorn, bro. He might say stop that, right?
I had to do it. But let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about game one. It was killer threes. Charles Oakley killer threes taking on the Iceman George Gervin's Ghost Ballers. A great game from the start, Thomas Scott. Break it down.
First thing I want to talk about is Frank Nitty's nasty dunk. You know, I thought Killer Threes was going to take that win. They were up. You know,
they were up by 10 at one point.
Dante was doing his thing. Dominique Johnson made a lot of big shots. But unfortunately, Ghost Ballers just walked them down, and you got to give credit to Jonathan Simmons.
Oh yeah, he was on fire, dog. Co-captain of Ghost Ballers, also captain of Ghost Ballers. It seems like Mike Taylor just kept hitting those three after three after three, and they crept their way back like ghosts.
We call that walking them down. And Mike Taylor, like you said, did his thing. He was aggressive, played really good defense, man. When their momentum got up, you could feel it, and there was nothing Killer Threes could do about it. So Ghost Ballers get the win.
Absolutely.
And they move on to the playoffs.
And they move on to the playoffs. Congratulations, the Ghost Ballers. They're used to this as well, Thomas. You know, they've been there. They always advance. It's just getting to that Big Three championship is what they're looking for this season.
They've always been close. And shout out to Mike Taylor as being the first-time player captain, taking his team to the playoffs. And I think he's been doing a great job as a leader.
So I got to ask this. It's hard for me to ask this as well, Thomas Scott, Director of Fireball Operations. What happens to Killer Threes?
Killer Threes is out just by some of the matchups. It's a log jam, so Killer Threes is out of the playoffs. Unfortunately, they had a great season. I still believe Charles Oakley should be Coach of the Year. I still believe Dominique Johnson should get Fourth Man of the Year. And man, they just had a great season. Unfortunately, just didn't go
And we're going to see Frank Nitty in the All-Star game next week in Washington, D.C.
Absolutely.
The Nitty way. Shout out to the Killer Threes, man. My condolences, my heart. Y'all had a great season, but let's move on. Lisa Leslie, Nancy Lieberman, triplets, taking on power. This isn't just history for women. This is history for sports. This is history for Big Three. This is history for basketball. Break it down, Thomas Scott.
That's what Big Three is known for, is making history, a groundbreaking history as well, as you mentioned. But talking about the game, you know, power. They looked like they were in control. Then they kind of fell apart mentally. Triplets were up big. They lose Glenn Rice, getting a technical, getting thrown out the game.
Yeah, man. What was up with that, man?
You know, just a little frustration.
And that could have lost them the game.
You got to keep your head, especially when it's this time down to the nitty gritty. I thought that power could creep up, but Jeremy Pargo was just way too much, knocking down all those fours. He's got to have broken the record for four-pointers in the season.
Absolutely.
I think he had 2 this game.
Right. Mike Bibby has a record at Big Three for most 4-point shots. So let's find that out, and we'll give that credit to Jeremy Pargo next week if he has broken that 4-point shot record.
Yes, but then also, you know, Joe Johnson, at the end of the day, you know you have a go-to guy, and he hit a big shot, made big plays down the stretch. Shout out to triplets. Unfortunately, power is out. They had a great season. I thought they were a little banged up. Coutinho Mobley did his best down the stretch, but unfortunately, they're out. And Lisa Leslie and the triplets advanced.
Yo, Lisa Leslie was very happy, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it was a battle of the ladies today. You know what I'm saying? Nancy Lieberman, Lisa Leslie, it's historic. It was a big victory. Also, man, I got to give a big shout out to my vote for Defensive Player of the Year, Larry Sanders. Not only did he have some powerful blocks, he had some sick-ass dunks, too.
Man, absolutely. That was a good exchange when Royce White got his dunk. And then the next play, Larry Sanders comes down, throws one down, points at him. I loved it. It was great basketball.
All right, on to Tri-State versus Enemies. Break it down, Thomas Scott.
Well, Tri-State was just kind of playing to mess up the whole playoff seeding. And if Enemies would have lost, they would have been out. But they didn't. And hometown hero Jordan Crawford did not let them down. And also Jason Richardson, being from Michigan as well, he showed up, showed out. But at the end of the day, man, Jordan Crawford was just way too much. He had an incredible dunk. He's making plays off the dribble. My vote for Too Hard to Guard, maybe even MVP. Enemies coming out of nowhere this year. They've never made the playoffs.
Hey, you call them the most dangerous team.
The most dangerous team in the league. And guess what? Nick Young is coming back to DC where his whole career started. He's really excited. The whole team is ready to go. Quincy Miller off the bench. Another guy I think that's open for the 4th Man of the Year award. And man, they're clicking. Elijah Stewart, I'm telling you, they are tough to beat.
Absolutely, man. Yo, and also you got to give a big shout out to Swaggy P, because although he's not coming in the game playing ball, he's doing a great job coaching the team to these victories.
Yeah, he stepped in as the interim head coach right now, doing his thing, really getting his guys ready to play. He's encouraging them. He's always lively on the sidelines. He's making the right subs. He's making the right plays. He's letting his guys go. He's not getting in the way. And man, they just getting it done.
Yo, man, and a big shout out to Tri-State. It's tough getting close to these guys, becoming friends with them off the court.
Yeah.
Because, you know, unfortunately, we got to say goodbye to Tri-State.
Yeah, and Tri-State had a good year. Unfortunately, not as good as they wanted. But Devin Ebanks, I think, is also in the runnings for 4th Man of the Year.
All right, final game of the afternoon here in Detroit, Michigan. Shout out to all the fans that came out. It was hype. It was ill. It was lit. It was Trilogy taking on Ball Hogs. Break it down, Director of Fireball Operations, Thomas Scott.
At one point early in the game, I thought Ball Hogs were going to take the win. I thought the way that they play is a problem for Trilogy because they move, they cut, they drive, and Amir Johnson was a little slow. But, you know, Trilogy, they're like a boxer. And once they figure you out, like a Floyd Mayweather, they figure you out, then it's lights out.
And that's why they keep winning titles.
And that's why they keep winning titles.
Can they win a 4th?
I think they have a chance to be the first to ever go a real trilogy 3 in a row. But at the end of the day, man, Ryan Carter, Hezzy guys, coming in here, winning games. He's scoring, he's making plays, but also Earl Clark is just a proven guy. And shout out to James White, the player captain.
Yeah, man.
You know, people don't know his impact on this team. He's the winner, first and foremost. He made some big plays, blocking shots, making good passes. He got the game-winning layup, and he's the one that's really breaking down the X's and O's behind the scenes and matchups and adjustments. So shout out to him and Stack for getting this one.
Yo, Hezzy God, having his first season here with us at the Big 3, breaking out the way he is. I mean, he's becoming a fast star, rising star here at Big 3. You see the way the kids go? They go crazy for the Hezzy God.
And you know what? We need to run that clip of what could have been play, the through the legs, through Jody
goodness.
Meeks. I don't know if he should have dropped it off to the corner or did a floater or whatever, but he got fans out of their seat on that play. So, I mean, look, it's not all show with him. He's showing he can play actual basketball, fireball basketball. And look, at the end of the day, Trilogy survives and they advance to the playoffs.
And unfortunately, Ball Hogs, who had the best season they've ever had here at the Big 3, we got to say goodbye to Ball Hogs as well. We got to say goodbye to the Pig Pen. It did not work out for Ball Hogs this season, but maybe season 7, it may go down. So, Director of Fireball Operations, Thomas Scott, we're going to be in Washington, D.C. next week. Get your tickets right now, big3.com/tickets. We got the celebrity game. We got playoff games. Who's in the playoffs? Break it down, Thomas.
Trilogy, you got triplets, you got enemies, and you got the Ghost Ballers. We'll see how everything matches up. I think triplets has #1, and I think they're going to end up playing the Ghost Ballers, and I think Trilogy will be playing the enemies. But we'll see how it matches up. Either way, it's going to be fire.
It's going to be exciting. Get your tickets once again, big3.com/tickets. Follow us on all our social platforms at the Big 3. My name is Tattoo. This is Director of Fireball Operations, Thomas Scott. Anything before we get on out of here?
Get to DC. Get to DC. If you're in the DMV area, Baltimore, Virginia, get to DC, man, and catch this game live. And if you can't, make sure you catch it on CBS.
It's must-see Fireball TV right here, all about the Big 3. We'll see you in Washington, D.C.